So say people come here to learn about love, and you're designing your blueprint prior to coming here on earth, and you're like, oh, cool. I want to learn this about love. I want to learn every aspect of love because you know what? Here on this side, it's just amazing. The concept of love is just pure unconditional love. Okay, so I want to experience that here on earth. Like, let's bring that to earth because I feel like earth needs more love. So let's bring that. And you come in like all cheerful and like all happy, and then all these different experiences come up because you're trying to navigate through love. But your blueprint is that you decided that if this experience, say you're coming in and the birthing process, you have all these like ideas of how it's going to look, and it's going to be beautiful coming through, and like you know that there's going to be pain, you know that there's going to be this bright light, and you know it's going to be intense, that you know that, okay, you already consented to coming through and going through that birthing process, okay, but what you don't have a choice is how the other people are going to impact you. So that is your first chance right then and there to experience what does love look like. So you can have an amazing experience with, say, your mother, your father, or the nurses, or whomever's in the room with you to feel like that care, that compassion. So all of a sudden, say it's a wonderful birth, and you're like, yep, I went through the pain. I knew this was going to be here. Yep, it's great. I feel loved. I feel like I'm being embraced. There's people taking care of me. Awesome, okay? So then you go along to the next thing. And until you come to a point in your life where there's almost like a judgment or a feeling that's not of love, that you would perceive love. So that is right there in one experience that comes up. You get the choice at that moment as to how are you going to perceive that. Are you going to be like, okay, I'm going to sit with it. I'm going to pull back and just, okay, like I need this to help me cope with this situation because I may not be grasping it. You could be 1 year old and you're realizing that, I don't feel that safety, that security, or whatever the feeling of love to you needed to represent or needed to feel like. You weren't feeling that immense connection. Oh, they're like, that's another piece. When people are getting to that 5-6 year old range, they start losing that feeling, that connection to source, higher power. So they actually get more nervous, more scared. And then this is the age that we're now throwing them into a constructed environment of school. So it forces them again to not be connected to
disconnect.
Yep. And that's when they lose that sense of love, unconditional love. So these earlier stages, I'm going to go back to when we're 1, and this child all of a sudden just doesn't feel a sense of love, okay? And that is very much internal based and experience. Say I fell down, I bumped my knee, and I'm crying, and nobody's there to come save me. This is a child is very, very, very smart, very, very, very connected. We do not need to tell a child that they are surrounded by their spirit guides, their loved ones. They don't need to be told that because they know. And at this point, they can choose based off, based off of what is happening in their physical body, how they want to experience that. And if they take that experience and be like, okay, like, yep, I hurt myself. Yes, there was some physical pain, but I am okay. That okayness comes from when the physical body is actually functioning, when we have the proper vitamins, nutrients, when we have the proper internal balance, our digestive system is working as it should, okay? So right then and there, that is part of your process here on earth that creates such a strong disconnect when kids are growing up, is that they literally do not have the proper nutrients to be able for the physical body to do what it needs to do. So then emotionally, energetically, it can actually cope through some of these experiences. So now this child is like, I don't feel love. So then they're going to really grasp onto that experience that they felt like they didn't have love. However they wanted to express their love or feel their love. They didn't feel it. So then now they take that and they're like almost holding on to it. They have a judgment. So then that experience is going to actually amplify to the next experience and then amplify to the next, to the point where now later in life, they're going to be a victim of nobody loves me. I don't feel loved. Nobody understands me, because they're literally stuck right back to the starting point and when they felt like a judgment towards that or a feeling. And it literally came down to just a lack of something in their physical body was just not processing at that moment. Had nothing to do with the people around at all. It was literally what was missing in their body. And this is where it can start off, say with love. Love can go anywhere in the body. We can hold on to that anywhere. But a lot of times it goes to the heart. Because we like to assume that everything is physically heart-based love, when in essence, that's not where love is truly stored in the body. Ooh. Love has no boundaries. Love has no... They're saying, your feeling of love, and I get pulled to like the tingleness, the like, oh, I can feel that in my heart. Okay, they said that's just a sensation that you're feeling, that you have designed to where you think love is. That's just a
program.
Yep. In essence, love is peace. Love has really no feeling. It is what I call a feeling of weightlessness. It's like we're just floating and we're just being. There's no thought with it. There's no real feeling, physical feeling with it. It's just the ultimate peace. And there's no judgment. There's no hesitation. There is no right nor wrong. It is literally being. And when we're in that state, that's hard to be in a physical form because we have been designed to disconnect it. And this is where a lot of humans are struggling now to...
So we were designed to disconnect it, or that's...
The being here on earth has forced us to disconnect it. Mm-hmm. So a lot of what it calls souls have been trying to come here on earth and bring peace, bring love, that the true unconditional love, they've been bringing it here.
Got disconnected.
Yep. And so now we get into this either self-pity mode, victimization mode, judgment mode, like all of that garbage that goes with it. But they said if you were to go back to the point where you had the original event, that experience that made you question it, there's literally a piece in your body, a physical body, that did not feel that it was being met. So it's not the emotion that you're responding to. You're actually responding to your body did not feel like it had either, say, I scraped my knee. It didn't have all the proper nutrients to heal that knee up or to be able to handle that pain or whatever it is. There's something physically that was just not there. And sometimes it freaks you out, but it's not about freaking out.
Right, so we can reconnect by going through a certain process that we won't go into right now, but we will go into it, of going back, say, to that moment.
Yep.
We'll call it like an initial moment of disconnection, the first moments of disconnections.
Yeah.
And then that first moment created a second, which created a third, which created a fourth. So while they all, over time, appear to be different disconnections, they really do. It's like a tunnel.
Yep.
Goes back in time to there was a root moment of disconnection.
Yep.
And we can heal that, if we want to call it that.
Yep.
Resolve that, or another word would be we can reconnect.
Yes.
So we are reconnecting with, say that, like a child is connected to the spirit side, to guides, without even thinking. You had said earlier they know they're connected. I would say that not only do they know, they are actually they are here in this world being connected.
Yes.
They know it, but the knowing and being, know is, yep, they know it. Being is like it's in action too.
Yes.
Like they're living it in the world until all of a sudden they're not.
Yeah.
And their not moment, if I understand you correctly, was more about something on the physical body, wasn't being properly, say, nourished.
Yes.
And then that created the chain of events that
Yep. And that could even happen in utero.
Right.
That they had, like, not having a specific vitamin nutrient, it wasn't formulated correctly, something that even genetically passed down, But here's the thing. With genetically passed down, you know that that's going to happen when you're coming in.
So if we know that was going to happen, whether it was in utero, genetically, whether it happens as a child, some people probably go through childhood and have that disconnect moment happen more in, say, young adulthood, because it's different times, I'm sure. But we know it's going to happen. Do we know it's going to happen? Or
no, it just happens, like, it gradually happens. Because the one incident that when things majorly come up, that's when it's like, oh shit, like, I've been denying this. I haven't been seeing it. I've been getting all the little signs for how long, but we didn't have the tools or the resources back then.
And now we can reconnect. And if I am hearing this correctly, we can reconnect to spiritual side, or guides, or whatever we want to call it, all of those, if we want to call it that, and we can reconnect to our physical body's needs.
Yes.
Nutritional needs, other stuff.
Yep.
Both of those can be reconnected.
100%. Yeah.